Hello everybody, welcome back to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad. Today we're back at the workbench taking a look at some custom decorated Freelance Railroad hopper cars on a project that I'm kind of wrapping up. Stick around. This project has borrowed some inspiration from the Home Shops project, which did half a dozen or so covered hopper cars for freelance railroads from across the country. Morefield Southern is my freelance railroad that I've been using off and on since I was probably in high school. And this is the first time, actually the second time, save from those purple box cars, that I've done any railroad cars for the railroad. This video isn't necessarily meant to be a step-by-step, but I'll just tell you about the high-level items that I did to get these cars to this state. Morefield Southern is a fictional short line that operates an obscure Milwaukee Railroad branch line north and west of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Some of you may be familiar with the Milwaukee Road's branch to Del Rapids, South Dakota, Trent, South Dakota, and Sioux Falls Junction. That line is now operated by the regional shortline D&I Railroad. That line is actually truncated currently shortly north of Del Rapids. The line we're talking about branched off of that line a half a mile north of Renner, South Dakota. The line traveled northwest up out of the river bottom toward the tiny farming town of Morefield. The line continued across the prairie toward Colton. The line then paralleled the GN due north until Wentworth, when it joined another Milwaukee line, an east-west line that served Madison, South Dakota. In many spaces, the old Milwaukee right-of-way can be still seen via Google Maps and other satellite imaging services, as well as from the ground if you know where to look. My models pay homage to their Milwaukee Railroad heritage. I reused the Milwaukee Railroad's tiled red diamond logo and placed Morefield Southern lettering on it via Photoshop. Many of these Athearn cars began as decorated Athearn PS-4750 type cars. These are the ones commonly sold as PS1 54-foot covered hopper cars. They're, of course, suitable for grain service, so that's the role they'll be serving on the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad. I began the project by disassembling and stripping the models in 91% isopropyl alcohol, which is commonly available from places like Walmart and Target. If you place the 91% isopropyl alcohol in a closed container with the model, you'll be able to strip the paint off after soaking in the alcohol in just a few hours. I recommend a toothbrush and rubber wash gloves to wear to protect your skin. Then I washed the cars out under tap water. After they dried, I painted them with cheap Rust-Oleum rattle can. I believe this is orange. I'm not sure if it has a name, but this is just Walmart paint here that I've got. This is also paint and primer, so I did not prime these models before I got started. Also, I remembered to use this paint in a well-ventilated area. Outside, as there's oil-based fumes that come out of those cans, and you definitely want to use those either with an airbrush booth or outdoors. I also painted thin styrene sheets cut to size orange for the car sides placards for the logos. After the orange dried, I applied decals cut from the following microscale lettering sets. These can be purchased either directly from microscale or your hobby shop can order them for you. 90102 is the lettering set that was used here. I used different sizes. Of course, you see the smaller lettering on the one car and then the larger lettering on all the rest. The data for the covered hopper cars came from a mini-cal also produced by Microscale, MC5017. I believe that's 875017 in the Walthers catalog. Again, you can get these directly from Microscale, or you can have your favorite hobby shop order them for you. I did not overcoat these with any kind of gloss coat or anything like that. This Rust-Oleum applies pretty glossy, so I didn't feel like any film was needed or any gloss coat was needed to hide the decal film. I used a very thin coat of white glue to attach the logo placards to the styrene sheets that I'd cut earlier. Then I attach the placards to the sides of the cars using CA. I have been attaching at least one red diamond logo on each side of the car, but the other side varies between various safety and railroad promo slogans and the railroad logo belonging to the South Dakota Railroad Museum. The South Dakota Railroad Museum is based in Hill City, South Dakota, and has been allowed to place its logo on a few RCPE cars and has made a fun game out of Spot the Car. Check the description for more information on that. I weathered wheel sets and couplers according to the procedure described in a video linked in the description. I have found that with these cars, a combination of 36-inch wheel sets and underset shank KD couplers works really well. Examples of these would be the number 47 and the 147s. That gets your coupler height to exactly the right to match up with a coupler height gauge, and gets a realistic look for that big 36-inch wheel for 110 ton cars. These are inexpensive Athearn cars that make nice models, and I've already had a ton of fun with this project. These can sometimes be found secondhand at train shows, and hobby shops have them, and good hobby shops have them in a bargain basement area. They frequently have the factory plastic kit wheels and horn hook couplers with them, but you can always upgrade those as you're doing your project. And sometimes they can be found with metal wheels and KD couplers, and sometimes at a steel. Let's go out and see these cars running on the layout now. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about how I varied the logos on here. As I said in the video earlier, I varied the placards here with the red diamond on one side of the car and then another logo or slogan on the other side of the car. This one here is the State Railroad Museum. Again, the red diamond. This car has two red diamonds on it. Here's a gray car that I had painted already before I got started with the orange. We have the red diamond and the Railroad Museum logo. And you see that I offset the lettering a little differently on this car than I did the others. Supposedly this car might be in a different type of service, this fertilizer service or salt service or something like that. In either case, it needs some weathering. This logo here, the old Nedros route, of course, being a fictitious railroad, I can come up with any nickname I want, but you know how railroads call themselves different things. Nedros is the church, or West Nedros Lutheran Church is very near where the right-of-way would have been or was at one time. The right-of-way can be seen from very close to that location on the Morefield Southern line. Again, the Railroad Museum, another diamond logo. And for our final car here, Safety is no accident. I have a few others that I haven't applied here, but you'll have to wait for another time to see those. Hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.